हर साल 24 मार्च को दुनिया भर में टीबी का दिन मनाया जाता है, जिसका मकसद लोगों में इस कदीम बीमारी के बारे में आगाही फैलाना है। दुनिया न्यूज़ से बातचीत करते हुए टीबी स्पेशलिस्ट का कहना है कि पाकिस्तान से आने वाले लोग जो वहां से टीबी टेस्ट करवा कर आते हैं, उन्हें बरतानिया आने के बाद भी खून का टेस्ट करवाना चाहिए ताकि पोशीदा टीबी को शुरू से ही काबू में रख लिया जाए। शकील सलाम की रिपोर्ट देखिए।
टीबी सबसे पुरानी बीमारी है और ये जानलेवा भी हो सकती है। टीबी के आलमी दिन की मुनासबत से ये एक पैगाम है पूरी दुनिया के लिए कि इस साल हमने टीबी को हमेशा के लिए इसका ख़ात्मा करना है। इस मकसद के लिए आज हम बात करने जा रहे हैं यहाँ की टीबी स्पेशलिस्ट नर्सों से, जो हमें टीबी के हवाले से बताएंगे कि टीबी क्या है, क्यों होती है, इसकी क्या वजूहात हैं और कैसे हम इसके टेस्ट जो है वो कर सकते हैं, जिसकी वजह से हम अपनों और अपने ख़ानदान की सेहत का ख्याल रख सकते हैं।
I'm Alex Mabry and I'm one of the TB nurses for East Lancs.
And I'm Helen Wells, also a TB nurse for East Lancs. So every year on the 24th of March, a lot of organisations such as TB Alert, the World Health Organisation, UK Health and Security Agency, all get together and celebrate, raise awareness of TB. The biggest message this year is just stop TB, end TB. The biggest message is that it's preventable and curable if treated easy enough, and it's about getting rid of any stigma. So anybody can catch TB at any time. It doesn't discriminate, doesn't matter age, sex, gender, race, culture. And the more people that understand this, the more people are likely to come forward for diagnosis and for treatment.
So when somebody with infectious TB coughs or sneezes, the bacteria can be released into the air, and then anybody close by to them can then inhale the germs and take on the bacteria. There's a couple of different types of TB. The most common type is latent TB, which is what I've just described, when somebody takes on the germs from an infected person. So they're not infectious at that time, but we would give them some treatment to kill the bugs. And then active TB is when they've had latent TB, they've had the germs at some point and now they've woken up, and it can make them feel a lot more poorly than latent TB. So for latent TB, we would offer them 3 months of antibiotics to kill the bacteria, and if they complete the 3 months of treatment, then that should reduce the chances of it ever developing into active TB. With active TB, it can be a bit more complicated. It can once the samples have gone off to the lab, they'll tell us which drugs are the best drugs to use to treat that type of bacteria. So then we would usually offer them a 6-month treatment course, which would kill the bacteria, and it would be unlikely that they would ever have TB again.
But it's people that are coming from high prevalent TB countries. If there's a lot of TB in one country, once they arrive in the UK, we would like to offer them screening. A lot of people think they've had the screening because before they enter England there's a chest x-ray and they'll tell them that's a TB test. That would only detect active TB or if there's any effect on the lungs. So we would like to offer everybody a blood test, and that would see if they've got latent TB, which means they've been in touch, as Alex said, with somebody with infectious TB who's coughed out the bugs and they've breathed them in.
So I think the most important thing for us is just to say that TB is definitely still around. It's not gone away. People think that it's a disease of the past, but it's still very relevant, especially within our local areas. And the most important thing that people can do, if they're new to the country, they need to register with a GP so that they've got a direct port of call for if they have any of the signs and symptoms of TB, so that they can present quicker, we can get the test done quicker, and then we can start the treatment quicker.
Shakil Salam, Dunya News, Blackburn.